All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. I don't have a lot of memory on here. I've got a thing uploading, but I wanted to say a few words. And I've got this seven deadly things up here. I've got another one that's I think is I like a little bit better. And I'm just using the point that there's major shortcomings to the human being. These are just, seven of the sins that we can commit. They're like considered the seven deadly sins, mortal sins, whatever you want to call them. And basically what I'm getting at is, we're all faced with spiritual warfare. Whatever weakness, whatever chink in our armor, whatever shortcoming, whatever character deficit, whatever, sin the enemy can use to get in, get a wedge in between believers, between brethren. However he can do that, somebody who's greedy, to use that to weaken them, and then if you do have a sin, then you obviously you got to deal with this situation of guilt. So, the Apostle Paul, when he was early in his life, he said, I'm the chief of apostles in the book of Corinthians. I think it's 1 Corinthians. I'm the chief of apostles. Then a little bit later on, I think it was in the book of Ephesians, on down the road. He'd been around the block a few times, been beaten up a few times, Maybe he was a little bit more humble. He said, I'm the least of all saints. Quite a big, and granted, it's the arguments at the time, but they did represent different points, early in his life, later in his life, and then, so he said he went from claiming to be the chief of apostles to the least of all saints. In Timothy, he says, I, the chief of sinners, am. Now, chief of apostles to chief of sinners. So anyway, point being is we get humbler as we get older. We feel more sensitive to sin. And, I honestly felt like, I've sinned against greater light. I feel like I have greater light. And, I could honestly claim to be the chief of sinners. So, there's times when I just think of things that I've done in the past, and I'm just like, oh, Father, please forgive. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? He doesn't remember our sins. He casts them away. So if we do fall, we just need to come back and, just get back on the horse, as it were. So 2, 4, 6. So 7 must be right up there. Okay. And I could make this smaller or whatever, but these are just little character guys, but anger, pride. See the little mirror there, the narcissist. And it's interesting to me that people who claim to have been tortured by narcissists, a narcissistic spouse, suddenly are one of the worst narcissists I've ever seen in the world. Greed, oh my gosh. You can do horrible things because of greed. I want my gold. Well, it says in the Bible that your silver and your gold you're going to throw out in the streets. The streets of heaven are paved with gold. But if you are lusting after gold and you're willing to destroy somebody's life over gold, you're not going to walk on the streets of heaven. You never will. I'm looking at you, I hope you hear this. I hope you hear this. You will never walk on those streets of gold if you're going to destroy somebody's life because of some measly, crappy, stupid, rusty, moth-eaten gold. Read the book of James, James 5. Gluttony, sloth, laziness, envy, jealousy. Oh, going to destroy people. Destroy people. Lust, So, and anger, that one kind of goes with all the other ones in a sense to me, because you get angry over greed, you get angry over gluttony, you get angry over sloth, whatever. But my point is that, if this enemy is going to use these whatever weaknesses to destroy us, don't let him win. Okay. I found out today. I talked with a guy. On the way back from Branson, I had to get gas, and I had a little bit of money, so I put a few dollars of gas in the car van. And I saw a guy that reminded me of a man that I knew. My wife had, birthed for him, and they were a really neat family. He was one of the most visionary, awesome men. Did alternative energy stuff, did all kinds of creative things financially. It was, homeschooling his children. Home birthing, homeschooling family. So I sent a text to the number I had and sent an email to the only email I had, and he responded. Still out there. Well, come to find out, my wife had talked to his wife, and his wife has put him out of the house and has taken over everything. He even wanted the car back, the van. He's living out of a van. He's living in a van. And he told me how you can survive in 90 to 100 degree heat in your van with a little computer fan blowing on your body core. Not me. I'm sorry. I'm not in good a shape, as he is. So, things are going around. Marriages are being destroyed. Now, as opposed to, my children were all grown. They have 5 children, 6 children at home. Total difference. And for anybody to advise another man's wife, especially a man as godly and concerned and visionary, planning for the future as he was, that is sick and sad and perverted, just as my divorce was perverted. Just not right. Anyway, that's I'm not, like I said, wasn't a perfect husband. I was. Every man that's visionary is hard to live with because they're planning for the future. So it's hard to live in the now and plan for the future. You're gearing everything in your mind and your economics and your preparations for the future, and you're not going to do it unless you plan now and you make changes in your life now. And that's what he was doing. He had so many things going on. And good income right out of the farm. Well, basically, she just stole everything, threw him out. So, very sad. But families are being messed up. The enemy is raging because he knows he has a short time. So, understand that. Understand that. Deal with it. If he has done something, he's gotten to you in some way, shape, or form, ask for forgiveness and move on. Get back on the horse, ask the Father for forgiveness and accept it, and move on. Dedicate your heart and your soul and your life to, making change, continue to make changes that you've been given to do. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to just keep rambling. I just wanted to get that message out there, like there's forgiveness with thee that thou mayest be feared. He is a forgiving God. That's the thing that, if the the vilest of sinners can be forgiven. The most corrupt of criminals can be redeemed. The most, hardened of, despicable, most vile, evil person on earth can be redeemed. That's the whole message of the Old Testament and the New Testament is redemption. So allow him to be a redeeming God in your life, redeeming Savior, and, be forgiven if something's happened. So. And I'm praying that is true. The greed cases and the, whatever cases, the gluttony, envy, lust, I don't care what it is. If you've done something wrong, just admit it and make the change and get back into, because otherwise the world's going to be destroyed. And that's kind of what I'm seeing, There's things going on with Brother Shannon that are just disgusting. I mean, I don't know how to say it, the greed issue, stupid stuff. So, I don't know. It's very much a concern in my life. It's, don't know from one day to the next what's going on, So, Anyway, all right, that's it. I'm gonna can it there. Appreciate everybody. Be praying. Be praying for this ministry. It's not over. I don't think it's even hardly begun. Yeah, I've helped about 30 families or so get here, but I don't think it's over by any means. So, all right, this is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant. Thank you. Bye bye.